Hey, my friend David Burns, good to be with you. Thanks for coming along with me while we get into a hive. Going to look at this hive that we've been following since I installed a package. Every package year, I always like to keep a few packages and evaluate, see how they perform. And this is one such hive that we put in here from a package. Yep, we sell packages every year. I did not fill this. The last time I was in here, I let them finish it off. There was just about that much. And my reasoning behind this, I want them to go out there and get some of that good black locust in the trees, all that good clover on the ground. And yeah, I always say that if you're letting them draw out new foundation on your frames, not a bad idea to keep feeding them, but there's so much nectar, they're working so hard. Let's let them do what they're supposed to do. But let's go ahead and get my Burns feeder board off of here. Thank you guys for your strong support of buying this from us over the years. Very nice way to feed bees. All right, we're going to see how the bees are doing, how the colony is doing. Always like to double check for a small hive beetle or maybe the queen's up here, but everything looks normal to me. One little ant that regrets having made its home up there, being chased off by the bees. Poor little ant. We haven't had the best of weather for bees, so they probably are running behind where some of you might be. If you've had beautiful weather, we've had wind and rain and rain and rain and wind and wind. And right now I'm working against the clock. I know I say this a lot. Got a storm over in Springfield, Illinois, and I live, I don't know, a couple of hours away from there. And it's fast approaching me. So I think I've got time to get out here and take a look at this hive. Package has 10,000 bees. There are roughly 3,300 bees in a pound. So when you buy 3 pounds, it's roughly 10,000 bees. And so we started out with about that many bees, 10,000. And let's see, yep, we've kind of got started with the already mated queen in there, and just like everybody does in a package. Now they are in the bottom. Now, as you can see down in the hive, a lot of bees down on the bottom deep. And, you know, a lot of times we think bees build their comb from the top of the frame down, but look at that. They're actually pulling it out down low and working their way up. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, to give them a little smoke down there so we can work them. Some of you let me know often that you enjoy me working a hive, that you enjoy watching me work a hive, that maybe you learn a lot of things and so on. So here you go. We're working a hive together. Look at that, how they're drawing out the wax right here on the lower part of that frame. See that? And working their way up. Alrighty, here we go with another one. Haven't really made their way up into the top much yet. Not much there yet. Corrected column 5825. This is one of my pieces of foundation that I've had a while. Now they've drawn out the red wax nicely on this side, but not so nicely over here. They're still kind of got that same way it looked last time. Not much different. Oh, this one is the one that we put up here to kind of bait them, because in these cells here, it had some brood in it. But it looks, you can still see the eggs and larvae down in there, that maybe the queen is coming up here a little bit. Not real impressive what they're doing up here. I got to get them up in this box, okay? Problem, we need to get them up here. Come on. They're just not doing much that like I want them to do in this box. So let's go ahead and take this box off, and we'll examine what's going on down in the bottom deep. I intend to move some more frames from the bottom up into the top box if all looks well down below. Let's take a look. Anytime you separate boxes like that, be sure and smoke a little bit before you lift the box off, like that. Yeah, full house down here. I got my green drone comb started. Let's see how that's going to control mites. Looks like they're doing a nice job working their way across all frames down here in the bottom. I like to see that, but it's time for them to jump up and do some cool stuff up in the top deep, don't you think? I'm going to pop in here real quick and encourage you guys to join me on my live stream. Every Thursday night, we have over 800 beekeepers usually. It's a fun place to be on Thursday night, 7 p.m. Central Time. I do a little teaching on bees. I have giveaways. It's a lot of fun. So follow this link right here. Now let's get back into looking at this hive. All right, here we go. Nicely drawn out. I remember seeing that frame before, I think. And we'll check for a blue dot on a queen and I don't see her. So let's set this one aside for now, give us a little room to manipulate the other frames. We've been doing a little bit of, it's not the right word I don't think, but it's what we say, checkerboarding. I've been, CB by the way stands for checkerboarding. I've been putting frames that aren't drawn out between frames that are drawn out, hoping that the bees will draw the ones out between them. And it's working, it's not bad. I think you run the risk of having some wonky comb made sometimes if they have a drawn out frame next to an undrawn out frame. Ooh, this one's got some weight to it. Look at that. Not crazy about the brood pattern. It's a little bit funky, a little bit spotty, but we'll look for something better. Maybe this is just some of them emerging. Let's keep an eye on the brood pattern. I like it to be really, really solid. All right, here's a green drone comb that we put in a week ago. 1 week. How much have they drawn out and done in about 7 days? Okay, they've drawn it out nicely. And I see some nectar being put in there. Sometimes they'd rather put nectar in, but nope, they've put some drones over here on this side. Look at that. All right, good. A lot of drones in there capturing some mites, hopefully. And what we're going to do is keep an eye on this one. I would say we need to wait probably another 4 or 5 days, and then we'll take that out and freeze it. Green drone comb. Yep. It's a very effective way of trapping mites, controlling mites without the use of having to treat your hive. My recommendation is to use it if you are against treatment, and use it if you also treat. It can also be something that can be used in conjunction with treatment to help control mites. Okay, let's scratch off this spotty brood. That's a good brood pattern, so we're okay. I have a piece of grass that's tall enough to touch my arm, and it keeps making me think I'm going to get stung by a bee trying to grab me, but that's not what's going on. Lots of good eggs down in the back of the cell, back there. So we have a queen laying good eggs. And by the way, let's see, we want to move this one up. Probably not. It's got a little bit too much brood that needs to be kept warm. I'd rather have a frame to move up into the deep that is more eggs and larvae, but if we move all those bees up there, that'd be fine. Those bees will stay there and keep the pupae warm. Pupae needs to be kept warm in the incubation period of the developing pupae. And so you don't want to get it away from the brood nest area where the bees keep it warm. Red wax. Even the red is permeating into the caps. That's really interesting, isn't it? Yeah. Wow. Okay. Don't see the queen here, but I do see good brood pattern, good red wax that I showed you guys a few weeks ago how to roll that on. I'm going to poke my head in here real quick. Got lots more to look at, but I'm going to encourage you guys to please subscribe to my YouTube channel here. We've crossed 170,500, so we're growing, and it's great that you're part of this growth. So please subscribe so you'll be notified each time I make a new video. Let's get back into looking at this hive. Takes about roughly 8, let's say, pounds of nectar and honey to be metabolized into 1 pound of wax that they make from their wax glands. Yep, good brood pattern there. Pollen on the edges. Do you see the pollen? Okay, we have a queen cup. You see that little queen cup there? So we'll go ahead and see if anybody is home inside the cup, and it's not. I can see down in the cup right here, and it is empty. Just in case they need it, they have it there, but you can see there's just nothing in it. And every time I do that, they place it back together the way they want it. That's funny, isn't it? Every time I go in there and do that, a week later they've got it looking good again, and they're going to have to bend it back down. Now, they have those in there just in case they need to make an emergency cell, put an egg in there, have the queen lay in there so they can, you know, have a replacement procedure. And we haven't seen our queen yet, so where is she? Let's take a look. May the 30th, foundationless. So my friend and videographer Patrick, not videoing today, but he encouraged me to put a foundationless frame in here. I mean, just an empty frame, no foundation at all, and see what they would do. So let's see what they did. Now these have to be handled very carefully because nothing is supporting that piece of wax. Wow, Patrick, look at you and your ideas. I'm going to just kind of hold my fingers here. But that is great. Hot dog, and it's got eggs and larvae in it. Look up close in the cells. Woo! Look at that little bee by my thumb. Do you see that? That bee is sleeping. Taking a little nap. You'd probably stick your head in a cell, take a little nap. Oh, there's another one taking a nap up there too. But isn't that great? Probably find the queen on the other side. Did we? I'm supporting the bottom. If I hold it sideways, it'll break off or potentially break off. But that's a really cool experiment. But the bad news, it's kind of drone-sized cells. Look in the middle. I can tell those are bigger drone size. So all of this is going to be, let me check. Yeah, going to be mostly a drone frame. So not extremely beneficial, except maybe for Mite Control. So yeah, always learn something when you experiment and try things. And now you might say, well, I don't want to do that because I don't want a whole bunch of drones, right? I already got a drone comb in here, so yeah. Bee biology helps you understand what bees will do sometimes. And a lot of times in that scenario, they will actually make drone comb, pulling it out to be drone comb. All right, there's our blue dot queen. The blue dot's getting kind of faint. Not happy with that blue dot. But there she is, still working hard. All right, so let me look at this frame. I'm going to see what the contents are. Mostly pollen. Okay. Not much on that side. So what we'll do is let's bait the top deep by moving some of this up top, okay? I don't think it really matters what we move up front or on top there. I don't think it matters, but I think it would just be beneficial to get some open larvae up there to force more nurse bees up there. But if we put a capped over frame up there, they're going to go up there and keep it warm too. So here's the hive I'm working, and you can see what I'm concerned about. I think I got some time, but here's the storm. It's still a little bit ways off over there. There's the sun. So let's go ahead and put some frames. I'm thinking at least 2 for now. Maybe I'll decide to do more, but at least 2 in this top deep box right here. All right, so let me move out. What have we got? 2 out of here now. 2, 4, 6, 8. Yep. Let's take out. That's got a little bit of drawn out to it. Let's take out 3. How's that? I do like the calmness of my packages. They seem to be really easy to work. Knock on wood. Knock, knock, knock. Then I get stung. Patrick, I'm going to take your foundationless comb. I'm going to put it in here because I think the bees like being on that. So let's keep everything toward the middle if we can. Okay, right here would be the foundationless. Now let's put 2 more busy frames in there. Busy. All right, let me get some smoke and decide which ones I want. It's really cooled off with this storm coming in. I haven't really been watching the radar. I don't know if it's going to hit us or not, but I watch Ryan Hall, y'all, the weather guy on YouTube, and I enjoy what he has to say. And he has live broadcasts of what storms are doing, so kind of keeps me up to date before I go biking or working bees. All right, I like what the bees are doing here. They're doing pretty good on drawing out comb and all. I think I'm a little bit impatient. I think don't want them to speed up, but I think they're really doing quite nicely. Yep, they're off to a pretty good start. But we are not going to feed them. And we're ready to put our top cover on. Some of you asked me why I don't use inner covers, and I have made a lot of videos. Not a lot, but probably a handful describing why I don't use inner covers. And in case you're wondering and you don't want to look up another video, the reason I don't use inner covers is, well, for one reason, I like to feed my bees with this, right? That kind of takes the place of an inner cover when I'm feeding. And then in the wintertime, I use my winter bee kinds to feed my bees. And I would have to take the inner cover off again. And the summertime, I don't really need it, you know. So it's an excess. It's just one more piece of equipment that I have found that I can do without. Speeds up my inspections. Put the concrete block on it in case the storm does produce heavy winds. Well, are you doing what you're supposed to be doing in the month of June? I sure hope so. But if you're kind of confused and not sure what you're supposed to be doing, I made a video, June beekeeping tips. Check it out. The video is right here. I'll see you guys over there.